Never going to give up, never going to give up, never going to give up, never going to give up. Every time I see the title of this book, I can't help it, but I got to break out into song. I'm so excited about this book, Never Give Up, because I was a quitter for so many years of my life. And actually, it even states that in my chapter in this book, I am a quitter. And I started meeting more recently people who really just kick it into high gear when they want to give up. And so I was like, what would it be like to be in a book with other people who do have that philosophy of never giving up? So I'm going to bring up one of our authors today, Jeff Mudd. And Jeff is one of the authors in our book launching today called Never Give Up. Jeff, welcome. It's so good to have you here today.
It's fantastic to be here, Linda. Thank you for having me.
You know, I'm just curious, first of all, what was it about the title of this book that made you decide to jump in? Because we were talking to each other. It was last summer or spring or something. And we were talking. And then what was it about it that made you decide to jump in?
Well, I've had some medical challenges in my later years here, and I had a tattoo, and you told me the name of your book, and I kind of pulled my sleeve up and said, check this out. And it says, Never Give Up. So
you want to show people? Do you have long sleeves on right now? Can you show?
It's kind of tight, but
it's way up there. There it is. There it is. He didn't do that for the book. He did that before the book. Okay.
Way before the book. And it's always been my kind of gut reaction to things is, don't just give in, never give up, do what it takes to get things done. So
it's become like a mantra of yours.
It really has been. I might not be the most successful person in life, but I'm very happy, and things are moving along, and I kind of attribute some of that to having some stamina to not give up.
I think that's awesome because you mentioned, I might not be the most successful, but really, what is success, right? Each one of us has an opportunity to define our own success.
Absolutely.
And for a lot of people, just getting out of bed is success. And so you're a tremendous success because you have happiness with what you do. And I would love for you to share with us, what is it that you do, Jeff?
So just the quick story is, born and raised here in San Diego. I've worked with my hands doing handyman work, construction, pretty much most of my life, termite inspections. And for the last 20 years, I've ran a home improvement company. And I'm in the process of retiring out of that. And one of the things I always felt why I was running this home improvement company was that I was destined to something more impactful, not so much bigger, but more impactful in life. So that's how I've kind of transitioned into having a podcast promoting the construction trades to young adults. So I feel like I'm doing some good in my retirement years of the home improvement business.
That's awesome. You mentioned not something bigger, but something more impactful. And I think that's a really great distinction. What made you decide on that distinction there? Because I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
So there's a lot of things I did in my business that I was very proud of. And I know I had a very positive impact on a lot of staff, employees, people that I came in contact's lives. And I'm grateful for all those experiences. But I think with the Trades podcast, I can dig in to people that need it more, some of the younger generation that might be challenged. And I can do it nationally because the labor shortage is something that this whole country is facing right now.
Let's speak on that a little bit. The labor shortage. So the labor shortage all across the board, right? We see it like fast food restaurants, grocery stores. We see it all over the place that everybody's hiring. Do you have what's your perspective on what's going on there?
Well, for the construction trades in itself, you have a whole, let's just call it a baby boomer generation that's going to retire in the next 10 to 15 years. And that's 30 to 40% of the labor, construction labor, skilled labor right now. So that's going to create a huge increasing gap in the construction industry, from home improvement to the unions, building bridges, you name it, it affects it. And we also have a labor shortage in lots of other industries, but this is an industry I have experience with and I've chose to focus on and I believe in.
Wow. I hadn't even thought about that perspective, because having that much of the workforce, aging out basically because
Yeah.
you're into retirement, that's incredible. So what are some of the things that maybe your podcast is, taking care of this or looking into this, but what are some of the things that we can do today to ready ourselves for that 15 years down the line when they have retired, the baby boomers?
Well, I think there's a lot of great organizations out there that are addressing it and making impacts in their small ways. Um, and that's one of the things we do during the podcast. I interview a lot of home improvement contractors, but I've also interviewed some nonprofit CEOs that um, it's their mission to train people to get into the construction trades and how they do it. I've traveled to Denver to a construction school, to Tucson to another construction school, done some tours. So it's been a learning journey for me also about what's really out there and what we can do. But I think we've got two basic mindsets that need to change. One is the education system, that not everybody needs to go to college, and that is not the only career path out there. And two, parents. Your son or daughter does not have to go to college to be happy and successful in life, that there is other careers out there.
Yeah, that's so true. Now let's talk a little bit about the Trades podcast. And so first of all, why did you decide to start it in the first place? Like back then, back to that day that you said, I'm going to start a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did start it when I was still running part of my home improvement company, and I was completely frustrated with the inability to find people that wanted to work, let alone skilled people that had experience. Um, so again, kind of going back to my never giving up attitude, I decided that a podcast is something that I might not have an immediate impact, but hopefully a long-term impact, at least for my company and, other people and other companies out there also.
Okay, that's awesome. So giving a platform for others to be able to share their message as well as you bringing them to the
Yeah.
forefront.
Yeah. So when I've interviewed a lot of, let's say, home improvement contractors, they can talk about the culture of their company, the opportunities, the career path in their company, the things that hopefully young adults or somebody transitioning out of, say, a restaurant career in their late 20s should be asking questions about when they're making a decision what's good for them. So if they have information about a particular company, it'll help them make an educated or comparison on how they're job hunting.
Okay, I love that. That's fantastic. So you can check out Jeff at thetradespodcast.com. And which of the, what do they call them? The socials? I don't know what they're called with podcasts, but where are you located?
We have an Instagram, a YouTube account, has a bunch of short reels and some videos on there. And I think we have a TikTok account. I don't post on it, and I'm pretty active on LinkedIn.
Are you on Spotify, or what would be the Apple podcast and all that stuff too?
Yeah. So we use a hosting platform for the podcast we do, and it pushes to almost every available platform that you can, like Apple and Spotify and stuff.
Okay, fantastic. So go check them out over there. Now, Jeff, your chapter title, one never is not enough. We got to never, 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 never. So I want to hear from you. What inspired you? Why stop at 4? You should have gone for 5. It's my favorite number.
Well, actually, it relates to during World War II, one of the English military guys used that phrase. He started up and said, "That's my speech, never, never give up." And kind of had a super long pause. Then he ran into the rest of the speech. But he impacted the attitude of not only England, but America also with that speech. And so that's the way I opened up the chapter writing about it. So I thought that was pretty impactful. I've heard that story as a lesson in junior high school. Still remembered it, or made an impact, I guess.
That's huge, because in junior high school, it's hard to make an impact. on a junior high
Yeah.
school student.
Yeah. So that's the way I started off talking about never giving up. I mean, if that phrase can impact, a couple nations and bring,
Yeah.
the whole countries together for a common goal, then there's got to mean something there.
Definitely. Well, I'm curious because you did mention junior high school. So did you have a certain teacher that you were fond of in the way that like this was somebody that you really looked up to, or like, were you already into the construction kind of stuff when you were younger, or is this something that came about later?
So I've talked about this in the podcast. In junior high school, moving through high school in my younger 20s, I was pretty wild and did a lot of things, and school was not on my priority list. I just happened to remember 2 or 3 lessons that I got in junior high school. So no, I don't remember any of the teachers, and reflectively, that's probably a sad thing because I know there's a lot of great teachers that put their heart and soul into doing their job during that time.
Yeah, and I hear you because I also I don't remember a lot of my childhood. The only things I really remember about those years was my friends and band. I was in
Yeah.
band, so that was my thing. So we're talking to Jeff Mudd about the book Never Give Up, and this book is available for purchase on Amazon. Just go to our website actiontakerspublishing.com/never. And over there, you're going to find some free gifts from our authors, as well as the links to, click on the link to purchase the book. We have flags there from the different countries. So if you're not in the US, you're Canada, the UK, or what have you, just go to our website and just click on the link that pertains to the flag where you're located. So Jeff, I'd like to ask you our final question is what is something that you would like the readers to take away from reading this book, whether it's your story or the whole book? What do you want them to take away from reading it?
I think one of the common things that we should all reflect on is we all have challenges in life. So pick your challenge, set a goal, and never give up on your dream, your challenge, your goals. And don't let other people influence you. It's all internal. You're in charge.
That is so good. So good. Pick a goal and then just keep going. Don't give up on it because you just don't want to quit on yourself. I tell you, I know firsthand that quitting does not feel so good sometimes. So
It
go out
doesn't.
there. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff.
It's okay to take a step back or address a challenge or, other immediate needs in life, but circle back, get it done.
Get it done. Get her done. Get her done. Thanks, Jeff, so much for saying yes to this opportunity and joining us on this journey, sharing your message, your story about never, 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 never giving up. So We'll see you guys soon. Go to, again, actiontakerspublishing.com/never. Get your copy of the book, as well as go get those free gifts. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay, so first of all, I like being in any of the Action Taker Publishing books, and I think I'm at this point I'm addicted to being in these collaborative books. So I'm going to grab as many as I can, right? But I do resonate with this title because not because of the swear word, but because being in Linda's world, this is all about up-leveling your life by doing the things that most people don't do. And I think that just being in this sphere of influence has helped me tremendously to overcome a lot of my barriers. And I want to help spread that wisdom with as many people as I can.